Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
Don't you welcome me. I'm Dan, and Samantha, our producer's here, and so is Butler. Although I think Butler's in here, the only way I know now is I hear things in the office, and I'm like, yeah, he's still there.
We have tons of new merch on our merch page, including hot tub and mini fridge stuff.
I thought you were going to say digital hot dogs.
Z159, and every order of that stuff, you get a free promo Frisbee. Super cheap.
A free promo Frisbee.
I saw someone bring it to the beach this past weekend.
Oh, yeah.
It won't even fly.
It won't even fly. It's the only Frisbee.
It's not aerodynamic.
Yeah, it is not at all. Who ordered those?
It throws like a feather.
Stings like a bee. Isn't it just like a piece of trash?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a piece of molded
We should
trash.
just start calling them what they are. We should just be like,
trash disc.
Free trash.
Oh, you also get a hot tub and mini fridge bumper sticker.
Oh, yeah.
Those are quality.
Even more. That oddly enough, that flies better than the Frisbee, which is weird. It's a better the sticker's a better Frisbee.
Yep.
The Frisbee's a better sticker.
Also, Tom and Dan gibbets. And speaking of gibbets, if you want free gibbets, we've got them at Hourglass Brewery.
Yeah.
Or Brewing, sorry.
Yeah. Head over to Hourglass and grab some gibbets.
Yeah. Both locations, the Longwood location and their Orlando tap room on Curry Ford. So Daniel mentioned something that I know some people that do this.
Mm-hmm.
And
My father used to do this.
It seems like it's become their ritual.
It's like a religion.
Of like waking up early.
There's a meditative.
Yeah.
There's a meditative aspect to this.
They're addicted to waking up early.
I believe our good friend and the afternoon show on Real Radio, Jim Colbert, I believe, is one of these guys who's addicted to getting up early.
But do you think there's natural morning people and
Yes.
natural night owls, right?
Yes.
100%.
And I think
Can you condition yourself out of it?
I don't know, but I think age does it because although my wife can still sleep in, she'll sleep in on the weekends. As I get older, I like waking up early, and especially I like waking up early on the weekends.
You're driving her crazy, by the way. I talked to her a little bit about this.
Oh, what?
About your not being able to chill out, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. She actually, his wife complimented me.
I like to work.
I came to your house, and I was only there for 5 minutes, and your wife complimented me on how I was relaxing on the chair. She's like,
man,
I wish...
it's bad when she's making comments to other people about relaxing.
I wish my husband could relax. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to...
No, fine.
But she goes, I wish my husband could relax. And I was like, well, I'm not relaxed. I was riding a scooter.
Full of anxiety.
Yeah. You got to get inside here. There's no relax in here.
She just wants me
to chill out, dude.
Sit down for a second.
Yeah, but I want to work. I got things to do.
You're built to work, man.
You got trenches to dig.
Yeah.
You
are a Cancun tour mule.
If I don't work, I get... Talk about getting anxiety or whatever.
Right.
It's not anxiety. I'm like,
no, I know you're a workaholic.
It is anxiety.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it is anxiety. Yeah, you like to work because you have this fear that I think
if you stop, you'll die.
Right. I think you think if you stop that our company will fail, that your family will fail, that you'll disappoint us, you'll disappoint your family, and that's not true. But I understand where you're coming from. We all have our.
I mean, you wouldn't be not disappointed.
I'd be disappointed
if I'm like, hey, the business is. It's not good.
I'd hate you forever.
We all have the jobs. I mean, so that's disappointing, right?
Yeah.
If you're like, don't have a job anymore, that is disappointing.
But
I don't want to do that.
But you've become the type of man where you like on a Saturday morning, to get up. What would be the time? What's optimum Thomas Van time? You get up. I got you into having a cup of coffee now.
I did this on Sunday.
He has a cup of coffee.
I like getting up at dawn.
What time do you go to bed?
Well, that's the problem. I usually, and some would call it go to bed, some would call it passing out.
Okay, all right.
It's,
I dabble with that.
Just when you're done for the night.
Yeah. It's like it's been earlier. Crystal stopped drinking during the weekdays, which
Thank you for your service.
I didn't think it was possible. But she stopped months ago.
You might as well have told me somebody could fly.
And now she's just drinking, which is crazy to me, maybe on a Friday night or Saturday night, and having some wine.
I mean, that's the way you're supposed to, right?
Yeah,
you know what?
That's
this is what I'd like to be. You know what? I feel a little crazy tonight. Honey, where'd I put my beer?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I want to do.
That's a healthy relationship
like
with alcohol.
it's in the back somewhere, right? And there's 4 of
You gotta
them.
find it, yeah.
Meaning the last time you had beer, you had 2, and the other 4 sat there for a couple weeks, right?
Yeah.
I'm doing what
does that?
every person does to justify whatever. Is like they look at what people did in the generation above them.
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, it's not that bad.
Right.
I'm not that there will be blood guy that passes out in the bowling alley.
I gotta watch this movie because it's the new reference.
Yeah,
that
the
he always
references
pulls
are
out.
great.
But
The
anyway.
references are great.
Anyway.
I've actually jumped to
I
a
don't know.
whole new level of drinking where I just start carrying beer wherever I go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
That's when
the
you
roadie.
know. Party
Yeah.
dad. Party dad.
Yeah.
I've always got a Yeti with something in it. I've got something on me at all times.
It's like my mom with Sunkist.
Yes, gotta have it.
She
Gotta
carries
have
a cooler of Sunkist
Wherever
around
she
with her.
goes, wherever she
a
goes.
tiny cooler of snacks and
It's Sunkist.
Yeah.
Gotta have those emergency
Florida mom.
rations.
even living like.
Any good vampire doesn't leave without a little bit of blood in his
And
pocket.
I'm not talking about on vacation. I'm talking about like to go from her house to
To
my
CVS,
house.
yeah.
Right down the
CVS,
street.
Yeah.
She's
It's like
got it riding
1
sodas.
mile down the road has a mini cooler.
Emergency
So,
Sunkist.
like, why you don't need that? Anyway, back to getting up early is a
Yes.
religion. So, my brother-in-law does this. He gets up at like 3:30 in the morning.
This is what I want.
That's when I'm going to bed.
This is what I
Yeah,
want.
he goes to bed at like 7.
Oh, it's still
and-
daylight outside.
No, I
Christ.
know. He's like, it's crazy.
That's why I got my daughter blackout shades so she can't say, it's still light outside when I
there
send
you
her to
go.
bed.
When we went down there to Miami and like stayed with him, I remember he's like, all right, I'm going to bed. I'm like, going to bed? It was like 7:30.
I like that.
And I'm like, oh my God. And then he went to bed. And then I got up to take a pee. I'm like, oh. And then I see some light. And there he is. Like he's already
Fully
awake.
dressed. Got a bow tie on.
It's at 3:30 in the morning. No, he's like, it's pitch black in his house. He's on his computer, like getting ready to go to the gym. Like he goes to the gym at like 4:30.
Yeah.
But he, like
This is what I want.
he gets up that first hour. He's just like answering emails and starting his day. And I'm like, it's 3:30 in the morning. I'm like, oh my God. And then I think
I can't focus like that because of the way I live. Some days I'll get here at my regular time, like 8 o'clock, and I'll sit here in my chair and just stare at the computer frozen. With my brain just
Can't read
my
yet,
brain,
yeah.
it's like the hard drive's locked up, and I'm just like, you know?
Yeah.
It's frustrating.
Yeah.
I think people, because if you think about it, and this is how like I started understanding the religion of getting up early. In the mornings before my family wakes up, like if I get up at like break of dawn or whatever,
Yeah.
I get an hour completely to myself.
Yes.
With only what I want to do. The rest of the day is filled with taking the kids to school, coming back from like playing with them, doing these things,
So
that
the
thing,
only way
dinner.
you
all-
can get what you want is to be alone.
it's the only
I
time.
didn't have kids, baby.
It's the only alone
I
time.
do what I want whenever I want.
And
Well, but
awesome.
you still have a husband.
Yeah.
I still think
Yeah.
single is the way to go. Single woman just touring the world, that'd be the way to do it. Nothing's
Yeah.
stopping you.
yeah, it's
I don't even want Andrea at this point. I just want to be I want to live my life.
now though. Like I don't think I could be by myself. I'll because I've been. Now
I could.
with the kids and everything, like
I definitely could.
Well, you've never been by yourself.
no, I haven't.
Oh, I'd
I'm,
miss my family for sure, but I definitely could do it.
I think after a while, I would, start getting
Crack up a little bit.
lonely or
Yeah.
whatever it is. I don't know. Maybe I could just go out.
You'd
and,
always have
water
your
my plants.
You'd have
and
your
be
trains.
Stone out of my mind.
Yeah.
I can get through.
You can get lost.
I
in
think
your
that's what
thoughts.
most old men do, right? Most old you're there. I mean, all you need to do is lose your family. You got the plants already and the sadness.
Yeah. I'll run out of things to do.
Right.
No,
You got the plants and the sadness.
I need things to do. Like if I didn't have work, I would completely renovate my entire yard to the point where I have everything on a. This is my fantasy. This
Yeah,
is
it's
my
all
dad
automated,
fantasy.
yeah.
All automated through my phone. That's my next thing. I'm learning how to do all my irrigation. Now I'm all into it. Like I'm repiping stuff. I put the glue on.
Oh, he's doing it.
And then I'm gonna upgrade my my thing to Bluetooth, where I can go on an app and then water my plants
All right.
and schedule it all,
I'll water my plants digitally.
and then start making the most fancy yard in the neighborhood, so I win the neighborhood yard of the month.
Is that a thing?
Oh yeah. That's Tony.
Who's got it in-
Moonjet won it.
who's
and
got
I'm
it in
very
your
mad.
neighborhood?
I didn't realize he was in your neighborhood.
No, he's not in my
No.
neighborhood, but
Oh,
he's
no.
got that same thing where
He won it in Little Havana.
they come and
Different.
they put a yard sign
It's
in
like
your yard.
it's like a wrod iron, like a decorative sign.
So they
and then
trash up your yard with a sign.
and my dad used to
No,
try to win the sign, and he did. My dad, I think he won it 3 or 4 times, and he became very competitive. It is an old man thing. Now, who has it right now in your neighborhood?
I don't know.
You got
because
to drive around on your one wheel and scope it out.
Yeah,
Well,
who
because
the
you got to
enemy
size up
is.
what you're up against because you don't want to be doing work you don't need to do.
I used to see a lot more what's going on because now it's too hot, so the kids don't want to go on the walks and stuff. But once it starts cooling down, we'll go.
What
start going.
happened to forcing your kids to do things they didn't want to do to make them well-rounded?
It is hot.
It is
And
very
like,
hot.
at
I
this
don't even
point-
wanna walk to
yeah,
Publix.
I don't even blame them. This point is like 92. Like at 5 p.m. or whatever. Like it's too hot. We'll wait a couple weeks and they'll be fine. Anyway, so I don't know. But here, most people cheat and they get their yard redone by a professional landscaper, and then they win the prize like that week before it
Why is
falls
that-
into disrepair.
Why is that cheating?
Well, because I feel like they just pay
Throw
threw money at
it.
it.
You were always telling us to throw money at it.
Yeah, but it's not as
Rewarding?
rewarding of a prize if you didn't, you just paid $10,000 to a professional.
But do they
landscaper.
know? I mean, I don't think they know. They don't care, right? It's
No,
not like they
no.
should. Do you want them to put the sign in the guys and then put an asterisk by it, almost like a
No,
sports book?
I don't even know who gives out the sign. I think Crystal still pays.
Just buy your own sign.
Yeah, buy your own sign.
No. Well, the participation award. I don't want I want
No,
to
you're saying
legitimately.
in your mind, this is the best
Right.
yard.
No,
Exactly.
no. I get tricked. Like I want to earn it from whatever stranger or whoever puts that sign in there. I
Yeah.
have no idea even what the process is.
Where are you going to need grass in your front yard first?
No,
Because you
yeah.
can't win that award for your backyard. I'm
This-
sorry, that's not the way it works.
This is going to be a year project. I'm planning the sod in spring, and then I'm going to put some elaborate tropicals in my
In the
front
front.
yard, like some expensive plants, like
Okay.
where people when people
walk
walk
by,
by,
they
they're going to
know.
be like, "Oh man, this guy's
Yeah.
got." Awesome monstera.
It's the only
in his
plant we
front-
talk about, by the way, on the show is monsteras.
Plumerias as well.
Oh, plumerias.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they'll
Monstera,
they won't
plumeria.
grow in the front because not enough.
So
light
what's
down.
stopping you from doing this? Are you going to
I'm doing it.
Are you
Too many
gonna,
other projects. He's
I'm doing
digging
it.
ditches and
It just
No,
slow.
the ditches are part of the irrigation for his backyard.
for the backyard. Okay.
So what are you going to do in the front because you have so many roots there? How are you going to get past the hurdle of not being able to traditionally grow sod?
I can only put sod in like a T. It's kind of like a
Are you gonna-
woman's.
like,
Fallopian
like a
tubes?
landing strip?
I can only do a small landing strip that bushes out a little bit on the top.
So you're going to do like a
And then
90s landing strip of grass.
in the middle
Okay.
between the roots. And the roots, I have to use ground cover like a jasmine or some other ground cover that doesn't need as much sod, and it'll grow around the roots of the oaks. I may put some
Jasmine. They don't call it Confederate jasmine anymore, or is that considered
I may put some caladium or some other
Caladium?
like brightly colored plants.
I'm
in
surprised
there.
your wife isn't into this.
No, she doesn't like it because I like it.
I was gonna say I feel like she hates it because Tom loves it so much.
Does she?
He loves the plants more than his own
He
family.
really does love the plants.
No, that's
He
well,
spends
that's
more
what she
time with
says.
the plants than his boys.
And they need a lot of time. I did tell her one day to go out there and stomp them all because it's my goddamn jail sentence.
Wait, you said you were going to? So you?
No, I told her to go stomp them all.
Oh wait, so you guys were fighting, and she's like hating on your plants, and you were giving her a free pass to go out there and destroy your dreams.
No, I wasn't even fighting. I think I was just like out there watering. I'm setting up a system that they auto water, so I don't have to spend so much time tending to them.
Okay, I like that.
So that's why I'm running this irrigation. I ran some to the back, and I bought this system that I could put on a timer, and it can start auto watering. Because that takes a lot of time. It's just once it's automated, then I just have to tend to them in the spring. And then cut them back.
That sounds good to me.
I'm trying to come up with a plan. Anyway, back to waking up early. So I do agree with Samantha. Some people are not morning people, but I think that it could be beneficial to everybody because Daniel's right. If you start your day off with you have tons of time to prepare, and you get
I contend, though, it doesn't necessarily be that you have to wake up early if you just start your day later. So then you have, if you wake up a little later, instead of waking up at 3:30 a.m., you wake up at 9, and then you do your gym, your workout, whatever, emails, and then you transition, start your work day at 11.
That you could do that, and it would, I guess, give you the same psychological de-stressor of giving yourself plenty of time in the morning.
I'm too adapted to traditional time constraints of
sucks.
dinner and I mean.
But there is something maybe to the benefit of seeing the sunrise and seeing that twilight.
I bet you there's science behind that. Yes,
because think about it.
I hate it.
We probably
we're like cicadas.
Well, we evolved to wake up with the sun and go to sleep with the sunset, right? So it's by seeing the sunrise, it may give you some psychological benefit that we don't even know because that's what we was in our past, evolution.
Chris Strema in our Twitch chat room, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live, where you can watch the show every single day and chat. She says, my hubby doesn't talk until later on after he wakes up.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta...
You get real quiet and...
You gotta get that motor running first.
Yeah,
I wake up... Man, if you guys knew, I woke up today and it probably had a little bit to do, or a lot of it to do with Maisie going back to school. But I woke up, my brain's screaming anxiety. I just woke up and it was just it feels like I wake up. I woke up at 5:30 this morning, couldn't go back to bed, and it was just bah! That's what it feels like when I wake up. I'm there we go. All right, I'm in there. All right, I'm up.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like when, and I hate that. On weekends, though, when I don't really have any obligations, it is nice. And you paint this really good picture of me getting up, I go and I get a cup of coffee, I'm walking around in my plants, I put a little music on, right? Put a little jazz on. It should maybe toot a little bit, maybe have a left-handed cigarette, I'm having a coffee. Oh my God, so good.
Maybe you could battle that anxiety by forcing some trauma. Yeah,
I'm love forcing trauma on people,
man.
No.
Well,
I'm going to need to sexually assault myself.
Because you have these, for no reason, really, you, all of a sudden this anxiety hits you.
They're just little things that I amplify. I really shouldn't be worried at all about Maisie going back to school. We've prepared. Andrea's more than prepared. I've talked to Maisie. We got her all dialed in. She's super excited to go. Her teacher's awesome. There's nothing.
It's just transitioning into a new schedule.
Yeah. There's
You'll get used to it.
That's what I hate, though. There's no reason behind it.
Yeah,
I get that every Monday.
Do you? Yeah, we were talking about that.
I can't sleep on Sunday.
We were talking about that. You and I always come in every Monday. We all the whole show, except for Butler. He always comes in pretty happy.
He's pretty good.
He's pretty good.
But he wakes and bakes. So.
I think Butler bounces in here the best out of everybody. But the most of us
that's just a personality.
Mondays when we bounce in here, the three of us are little grumpy Mondays.
I'll wake up at 4 a.m. and then won't be able to fall back asleep. I just toss and turn.
Well, how do we remedy that?
I don't know. I've done everything.
No,
I've done the meditation.
Here's what we're gonna do.
Done the essential oils. I got the.
Essential oils are. They're neither.
It works for most of the time.
They're not essential.
Sunday nights, just.
We need to get a sleep expert on here, and talk to him about better, simple things that we can do, because this would be beneficial for all of us, right? I think? Do you think
the melatonin?
I know the answer though, and it's don't drink alcohol. Don't look at your device.
Even does not matter.
Yeah, the alcohol thing will ramp up my anxiety, but if I don't drink, it's still there.
But that's just
it's time anxiety.
Yeah, you're starting the new week, and it's that. Usually that Mondays, it's just you're oh God, there's something about going in from the weekend to a Monday that I think nobody likes.
Right.
It's just how does it, because it doesn't trigger anything for me. I may be a little more grumpy because I gotta just I stayed up too late or whatever on Sunday, and I'm go back to work. But I don't have any worry or anxiety about it. There's nothing.
Yeah, I don't either. So most of my concerns are stupid, though.
No, I know, but I'm saying something is
the
triggering.
anxiety that I have is about things that I've done thousands of times and I'm good at. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's irrational.
Yeah.
But that's the problem. I wonder how to treat that, and I'm wondering if kidnapping you, and then like, oh, follow me here.
Yeah.
So I hire a company, and I've said this before,
Yeah.
but it
I love it when we do kidnapping scenarios.
Right.
it's
a kink for some people.
they kick your door in,
Yes.
and then they kidnap you.
My
and-
daughter's not at
the
home, right?
the Dr. Phil
No.
trouble teen.
But you don't know. Yeah, it's the trouble.
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
my
yeah.
daughter at home or no?
No, we take her out in the middle of the night, and she'll come stay.
Oh,
with
she
me.
gets kidnapped too.
Well, you think that because you
Oh,
have to
this
be
is
put.
terrifying.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, my
you.
God.
Well, it's about putting you into a terrifying, horrible situation. We
You're-
kidnap you, and then
Do I feel like I'm?
We put you
like
in a
my,
van.
My family's. I'll
You're a
never see him
sick
again.
person.
yes.
Tom.
no. This could be therapy.
Okay.
because it's all safe.
That is
It's
literally the opposite of therapy.
I don't
No,
think you're.
no.
I just.
Hold on.
All I'm
It's
hearing is
extreme.
somebody who's not open-minded, and that makes me think that none of your therapies work, Sam.
and
I kinda
Man,
feel like-
as someone who's dealt with extreme trauma, I feel like this is not a good idea.
well, it's a kind of a reset on the, and it's because
Hear
Daniel
him out. Hear
Dan-
him out.
Daniel hasn't dealt with extreme trauma. A lot of his anxiety is self-manifested
I've had to
or
create my own
irrational.
trauma.
Right. He didn't have like a very traumatic childhood.
No.
There was nothing. He hasn't gone through any of this. Didn't go to war. I'm trying to think of like all these things. So then
I've seen really cushy, wonderful things.
and then you're in the back of the van, and then they're screaming. Obviously, I'm hiring some Middle Eastern people just to
Wow! Oh,
affect it,
you're trying to throw
I
me.
don't-
You're trying to.
I don't know.
Make me feel
I know
like
you're
that-
from DeLand,
and I'm trying
you
to
know,
connect the
you're
dots in my
kinda
brain.
racist.
I'm like, why would the? I am not. And then I'm like, why would the terrorist want me? I
Yeah,
must
yeah.
have done
I'm
something.
just saying, if it's like any other accent, and you're just like you start figuring it out. Be like, wait a minute, is this Tom?
This is Tom's.
yeah.
This is
But
one
you-
of Tom's handyman.
And then they take you, they put you in a box, and then they pretend to put you on a plane, which is just like
oh my God, he's already afraid of
Yeah,
planes.
no, I know,
God,
yeah,
am
yeah,
I
yeah.
in like a gym bag or something? Like,
no, you're in like a box, like a coffin.
Oh my God.
Because
This is
because then you're
terrible.
thinking they're gonna bury me alive.
Oh my God.
Which by the way,
not the traditional.
By the whoa.
By the way, not the traditional terrorist way to go. Normally, it's a head chop, right?
Right.
I was going
Yeah,
full
yeah.
head chop, but now you're going old west wooden coffin.
Well, you start thinking, where are they flying me to?
He's giving you time to think
They're
and sweat it out.
They're flying me to where they could chop, like,
yeah.
in open,
Yeah, where
right?
more- yeah.
There's only desert around.
Chopping fields.
So then
David Chopperfields.
So they get you on. It's just a simulator that we pay for.
I have one. I have a flight
No,
simulator.
I'm like the one that moves because and then it takes
We
off.
have a BDM, I think, that has some of those.
and so you're like, now I'm in a plane. You're thinking like,
Yeah.
I'm never gonna see my family.
But it's really just a coffin sitting on a simulator.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah, but you're scared out
Man,
of your
you're
mind.
throwing a lot of money
You're a
at
sick
this.
human
You're
being.
Am I
scared.
banging on the coffin?
Yo,
I'm like,
you're
"Let me outta
screaming,
here,
and they're screaming, but they're screaming
you
another.
terrorists!"
They're screaming another language, and then
I don't know how you're gonna find.
you hear
these
the alarms go off, and then they're like, "Oh no!" And like the plane's going down.
Oh my god!
So you're in the
and
coffin.
I'm able to put all this together.
yeah,
through the
because you
coffin.
could hear them screaming.
You can put a
and
tiny
they-
speaker
yeah.
in the coffin.
And then you hear them.
This is like a terrible escape room.
They open the doors and they pretend to jump out like they have parachutes. You know what I'm saying? Like you're in a smaller
Man,
Cessna or something.
Oh yeah,
And then the plane, you
Are you
hear
just
it's like,
playing
Like, we
Sound-
need to go to break, but I want to hear where this
yeah.
is going.
Are you just playing the sound effects through our PA that we bought for Ross to do comedy? Is that like what?
Yeah. And then you think you're like, ah! And then lights turn on and I pop in. I'm like, hey!
Yeah.
And then you won't have anxiety in the mornings for a while.
Do I do this every morning? Or?
No. This
Oh, it's a one-time shot.
No, it'll last for 2-3 months. we'll have to figure out a new one to get you next time.
And then I'm like, oh god. I'm like, I can tell you're not. I can tell that's not real Arabic.
All right, bye.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha's here. Butler's here. I think we're going to dabble with emails and voicemails now. If you'd like to send us an email, show@tomandan.com. Remember, you can watch our shows. We do a pretty awesome live stream Monday through Friday. Just search Twitch Tom and Dan Live, or replay is all on YouTube, Tom and Dan Live.
Yeah, if you want to listen to us live when we record our shows, you can listen through Twitch. Once you get the Twitch app and then subscribe to Tom and Dan Live, you can listen audio only if you
Anywhere
want.
in the world.
And listen real time. Oh no,
what's
it's
happening?
happening again. Damn it.
Oh,
I told myself. I'm like, why are you doing it again?
Okay, well, I had an idea that it has to do not with the amount of caffeine, the type of caffeine we're drinking.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you and I have an affection for the Mountain Dew products.
Don't tell anybody.
We've always, look, we pee our pants and we drink Mountain Dew. That's what this show's
I work with babies.
Yeah, yeah. Well, not babies. You work with old trash men.
Okay.
Old trash men that pee their pants and love Mountain Dew. Well, we used to start and we used to love Diet Mountain Dew. Then they came out with Mountain Dew Zero, which
Yeah.
has more caffeine, and they axed the orange juice. There's no orange juice in Mountain Dew Zero. There's
Yeah.
only a splash of orange juice in Diet Mountain Dew. That is science told to me by my barber, John the Barber.
Wow.
And Mountain Dew Zero has more caffeine. So we have determined that little bit of OJ in regular Diet Mountain Dew wets our molars enough to give us the right amount of throat wetness to get us good at the talking.
Yeah, I cut mine with water,
Yeah.
and still,
Oh, man. That's bad.
I know. I'm done with it.
Oh, are you doing that?
I'm done with
Swear
it.
Now,
it off.
yesterday he did.
I'm done with it.
Yesterday he had another done with it. Before we get to emails and voicemails, yesterday he said, "I'm done with it. Get me a salad, but I have a new lunch program I'm implementing tomorrow. I'm done with it." So, what's your new lunch program you're
Well, he
implementing?
was supposed to be bringing his turkey sandwich every day.
Well, I forgot that it was the
No.
kid's first day of school, so
How
I
do
didn't
you
have
forget
time.
that?
Well, yesterday when I made the proclamation that I'm done with it, I'm making my lunch every day. I didn't.
What are you
going to
make for lunch every day?
I don't know yet. I need the hard-boiled eggs and.
Oh no, not the turkey and eggs. No. No.
I need something light.
I'm gonna start doing Colorado Fondue Factory every lunch, Monday through Friday. A full 1 hour fondue extravaganza.
You're
That's what I'm gonna have.
cooking meat in oil.
Yeah, bro. I'm doing fondue, Colorado Fondue Factory, Monday through Friday, and I'm only gonna I'll eat sandwiches on the weekend.
Ghost of Manu Bowl in the Twitch chat has told us that your two favorite things are coming together. Mountain Dew is coming out with their own hard seltzers.
No, they're not.
3 different flavors.
No, they're not. Yes.
5% ABV.
Yes.
Original, black cherry, and watermelon.
That's us. But we have the white. Oh, I farted. Oh my god, I farted.
Oh my God.
I farted. It smells so
You
bad.
guys are the worst.
Oh my god.
Well, weird that they're doing that. Like, have they ever?
Everyone's doing it, man.
Is it going to have caffeine in it?
Do they
I
just
don't know.
partner with some? Because like to start doing alcohol,
Topo
that's a
Chico
whole
did it.
different.
Topo Chico
So
did
did
it.
what is it? The ice sparkling water. Do you know what I'm talking about? The skinny long bottles of water with the caffeine in it.
Yeah, like Tom's
yeah,
D.
yeah.
It stinks in here now.
That's me,
Come on,
that's
why'd you
me.
fart?
I didn't mean to. I didn't. I didn't think I farted. It fell out. It was.
You might want to check your
It
panties.
was a sneaker.
Yo, this trumps.
This is messed up. One's pee-pee in his pants, the other
Not,
one's poop in his
this is
pants.
not Trump pee-pee. Nothing came out. It was
I
air,
know.
man. It was
It's
air.
rank.
Yeah, that's something with the hair.
Something with air. At least I didn't pee my pants.
No, I was outside. It wasn't in.
This thing's still coming out of me.
Stop. All right.
Stop.
First email.
PepsiCo and Boston Beer are creating the alcoholic
Oh.
Mountain Dew drink.
Wait a minute. So it's going to be Boston beer. That's what's his name, right? That's Sam Adams.
Yeah. They I was like I said, like it seemed like you would partner with a company that already makes alcohol rather than start brewing your own alcohol.
I would.
Says it will contain 0 sugar.
How about caffeine?
Well,
looking
everything
for
zero
caffeine.
sugar.
The only
now.
reason I think I would want it is if it had a little caffeine in it. I mean, look, nothing's gonna. I've determined in my brain, and this isn't because they advertise with this, but there's the flavors of White Claw are better than all the other flavors, and that's just the facts.
Yeah,
Sorry, the other flavors are
It's
just not
true.
as good.
Yeah.
And there ain't nothing better than I'm OG now. Give me a straight up old school lime White Claw. That's where it started. That's where it ends.
Yeah, don't see
Oh,
anything
man.
about the caffeine.
I'm an
in
old
there, but-
man that farts fall out of now. That's sad.
First email.
Yeah.
So we did talk about, did we have a listener that may have been abducted? Remember? We were like,
Yeah,
it can't be a family
So
member.
me and Daniel got a $100 bet.
Right. So
Oh, I thought the bet was if we've had any listeners that have committed a murder.
No,
We
no,
have that
no.
too. We
No,
have
we
both.
all agreed that happened.
Yeah.
The abduction one is the one that I bet
It's
you.
a
that
lighter,
is
a
no.
little more light-hearted.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is from our buddy Shart and Randy. Was I abducted? What's up, T&D? When I was 7 or 8 years old, around 1988-89-ish, my next-door neighbors took me on a weekend beach trip without my parents' permission. There was an agreement in place for my older teen brother to go to the beach with them since he was good friends with their son. As they were leaving, they just told me to get in, so I did. My parents had zero clue that I was with them until later that evening when my brother called them to check in. The most vivid memories I have from that weekend are watching the dad pound white label Mabels as he drove us from Lake Mary to Vero Beach in his IROC Z, throwing his empties from the car window, and being relentlessly bullied by the cool teens who didn't want some young kid tagging along on their beach weekend. I don't know if this raises to the level of an abduction, but it was not an abduction, and I definitely did not have fun. I can see how this can be chalked up to a misunderstanding or some innocent 1980s shenanigans, but I don't think that Crystal Van would classify it that way if Tommy or Max disappeared for a few days of R&R at the beach with the old Dr. Ghoul or Suntan Sally. Yours in trauma, Shart and Randy.
My mom and dad ran
that
a little...
doesn't count.
I mean, like, I was always safe, but they did things that I probably wouldn't do. Like, I stayed with people that I still remember, staying with them, but I remember staying with them, and they had no kids. I remember staying with an old lady and an old man, and they didn't have kids, but they were like nice people. And they wanted me to stay. So, and they were through the church, so I would stay with them. And I remember, like, even as a kid, I remember thinking, this is a little weird because there's no kids to play with.
It's a little weird.
But it wasn't.
What did you do there?
They had, like, they would take me places and like, I still remember them. I don't want to say their name because they still live in they still live in DeLand. They're wonderful people.
Yeah.
But I stayed with them. They never had kids. And nothing was weird. It was very, like, I guess it was like the guy got to do stuff with me that because they didn't have kids. Like, he'd take me bowling. We'd go fishing. Do fun stuff. He didn't have a kid.
He's like, oh, my legs hurt from bowling. Can you massage my thighs?
There was a little.
I
mean, there were a few. I mean, there was a lot. I mean, it's a handsy family.
Yeah, my glutes hurt.
I think I have a stone bruise on my buttocks.
What's funny about Randy's email is that this
Well, first off, if it were any other show, there's nothing funny about his email.
It's
a horrible child abuse.
It's not great.
No, it's
a
not child
lot
abuse.
of neglect in Randy's life. That's why Randy has chosen to help people and why.
Right.
The dad was just taking the other kid on vacation.
Drinking and driving?
He was like, that's what everybody did in the 80s.
He stole someone's child and drove him drunk to the beach.
No, he
That's
took
true.
him on vacation. He just didn't, like...
he didn't care to ask the parents
Oh.
if they could take their child.
He just thought one's going, the other's gonna go. And what's funny is that the Shart and Randy's parents didn't even know until later that night. So, but that's the parents of the 80s.
Well, and 90s.
You didn't know your kid was
see
missing.
Home Alone?
That
was a 90s thing too.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, we've got
early 90s.
We've got the Toad King, Concrete Mike, in the chat room who says he misses his IROC Z. He had 3 of them. Thank you.
So but that was, the quintessential 80s parent didn't know their kid was missing until later that night when they they weren't at the dinner table or whatever, because the communication was different back then, and that's the reality. I'm trying to think, we look back at that time and we were like, oh my God, why weren't the parents more involved into where the kids were and all? But that's how we do it now, and we're just looking back at the 80s and thinking that everybody was neglectful or
they kind of
horrible.
were.
That's the reality of that. They thought they were doing a better job than their parents. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not saying that. That's
their
not
dad
the case,
wasn't even in town.
We're slowly getting better as a society.
Yeah. But it's like, so
the generation before him, they didn't even make IROC Z's.
Yeah. You were going to war at 17, and your mom was signing the paperwork so you could go off fight for the country.
Wow, the chat room is
insane.
the chat room is really trashing it up today. Apparently, everyone in our Twitch chat room had an IROC Z.
It's Florida. That's what. Yeah.
I ain't hating. I'd take one right now, and me and May tear this city apart.
But
that'd be so fun.
Like, my wife has stories because she grew up in a divorce household of one parent and I'm sure this happened to a lot of kids where the one parent thought the kid was staying with the other parent, and the kid basically had free reign to do whatever they want. I know my wife talks about it all the time. Like, she would constantly be like, "Oh, I'm staying with dad," or "staying with mom," and then
she'd do the "I'm staying with either," and then just haul ass.
or just do whatever she wanted at that point.
That's the way to do it.
And then if her mom was flying, because she was a flight attendant, and then she would just stay at her mom's house, and then the dad thought her mom was in town. You know what I'm saying? You're just constantly playing the parent,
using misinformation and the divorce as a tool.
Yeah, and they don't want to talk to each other, so it's like you're just basically grow up by
against
yourself.
each other. Yeah.
There's lots of that where there's a lot more independence than there's seems to be now, which you look back at and you're like, well, that's good. I was taught this, and that made me more responsible. But you only know your own reality. So was that better? I don't know. I guess it makes you more independent, and that's better to be more independent as an adult. And if
that can be a tool.
If your parents coddle you too much and do too much for you,
but that's also very
you're screwed.
specific to the person. Because someone else could be in that same situation and not learn independence at all.
And not
they
get
could just
something
be like
good. They can only get the negative,
so it's case by case.
And then that leads me to believe, like, whatever. They are who they are, and then hopefully
Sam makes an excellent point. It's like internally, depending on how that person's wired, that's gonna be the interesting part, is to see how they take that situation and use it to shape who they are later in life, right?
Yeah, and then it goes back to, oh, well, I would have been like, this didn't do anything positive for me. I would have been fine. This only traumatized me. Yeah. So it's all case by case.
They had a lot of fast ass IROCs in the chat room. My God, these guys are starting to throw deets down, and like apparently you guys had some race cars.
Okay, so let's talk RVs for 1 second before we play.
I got a voicemail queued, but
so
I want one, but I've decided that I don't want to pull it.
Drive.
I want the full. I want a tiny bus.
Well, now with RV share, like Seth's gonna come on tomorrow's ACT. He wants to buy a boat. He's been texting me all last night.
Oh no!
Yeah,
he's got the itch?
yeah. He's got the itch
What
for
do
a
you
boat.
think? There's no diseases on the water?
I think it's something like that. It's like he's looking
freaking out.
Yeah, he's looking for things that he could do, maybe solitary or with his own group. Who knows?
My
But
God.
the boats he's looking at are the Hurricane
Deck boats?
deck
Like
boats, just like mine. And
Sell him yours.
Well, I want mine, even though I don't use it.
You'll make a little money though.
But
yours almost kills you every time you go out on it. So I don't know.
Part of the fun. That's part of the fun.
It's gonna kill Seth because Seth just doesn't know what the hell he's doing, and he's got way more confidence than I have. I got the crow yelling at me to not like he.
Well, you guys have a lot of boating experience.
I was about to say his daughter. His daughter, well, she doesn't know. She's 22.
You know what's weird?
So she looks up at him like he knows what he's doing because he's 40.
Weird?
And you don't know nothing.
You want to hear something weird? More of an age difference between him and his girlfriend than me and my daughter.
That is weird.
No,
absolutely weird.
So what was I talking about? Anyway.
Seth wants a boat.
Yeah,
He's coming in tomorrow on ACT.
I like that.
And you were talking about RVs. You said something about RVs.
I want
RVs.
one. I want one.
So thanks, Samantha.
I'll pull my ruckus behind it, and that'll be how I get the family around. All three of us on my scooter.
So I'm like fantasizing about doing the quintessential across the country RV trip with my family, like
east to west.
East to west,
Whoa.
like seeing the Grand Canyon, all that BS, like
Yes.
going and see the redwoods.
Drive through a tree.
Drive. Yeah,
You gotta drive through a tree.
Like go like up the East Coast.
We had a BDM do this.
I know.
I'm
gonna take my picture in
But his kids were older.
Take my picture in Times Square, then take my picture with the world's biggest yarn ball.
I may do this like when the kids get a little older or whatever. Anyway, but part of that fantasy is like I'm driving the RV and then my wife and the kids are in the back. This is like a stereotypical RV, like a Travel America,
Okay.
And then the kids are in the back and they're like, playing cards or
video games.
Video games.
They ain't gonna be playing cards.
But they're like, running around and doing whatever. And then then every time I fantasize about like, they can't just be running around back there as I drive down the highway.
Yeah,
like
they can.
I mean, technically they can, but not legally.
Yeah, they can.
I
It's
mean,
just like a limousine.
Your wife won't let it happen, though.
Well, it's also if I crash, they'll be instantly killed.
Oh yeah,
No,
because
you're not gonna crash.
But why? Why? I'm driving some
It's
RV that I'm
fine.
not used to
It's
driving.
fine.
70
I
miles
love
an hour.
that you're now taking the Tom Van stance of usually like statistically
Man.
that's never gonna happen.
you think
no,
I used a
no, but
car
I think
seat and
statistically, me crashing on the road is a lot more likely.
Do you think I
No, it's
used?
not like
Yeah, it's more likely than them, getting deathly ill from COVID.
He's
crashing,
correct.
Yeah.
He's right.
Yeah.
crashing an RV and then it rolling as they just fly out
No,
the windows.
they're light.
They're
They're
not
light.
seatbelted in. But everybody
Put a
that I
ratchet
know,
strap on their ankle.
like if you drive an RV, your family's just running around back there.
Yeah.
They're not
It's
sit down
like a
seatbelt.
I didn't use a car
But it-
seat in Dominican Republic, and Maisie, like, you sitting up front, sitting in the back, whatever.
But that's I'm talking about like the amount of mile. I'm putting
Right.
3,000 miles. Like the taxi ride from the airport to the retreat, the resort is, I mean, it is a little sketchy because Dominican Republic, but
It was pretty sketchy.
it's a small amount of time. We're not talking about
it was my least favorite
it's
part.
gonna be weeks worth of driving.
yeah, 2-week road trip where most of the time I'm driving long distances and I'm tired.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Oh.
Like I'm getting up, I'm
You
driving
gotta get
down.
those white crosses, man.
I'm driving
awake.
down some stretch of I-10 and I'm trying to get to the next campsite and I'm tired. That's when you crash into the semi, right?
Yeah.
And then your family's rocketing through the windows. I don't know, but so I'm like, well, they'd have to sit down and be seatbelted the whole time, and that's not fun.
I don't think they are, though.
They don't have to, but I'm saying
Like, that's not what I would do.
the likelihood
I
of them
would-
dying in a accident is so high that
Maybe-
I'm afraid now.
But maybe this is the difference. I don't have that fear. Like, I would actually be driving. I'd switch out with Andrea so I could go in the back, and I'm drinking. I'm making turkey sandwiches. Like me, I'm like, I'm not gonna let that stop me from.
No,
I'm
yeah.
going straight down the road, and we're making sandwiches as we're driving.
Oh.
That's happening.
Yeah, I'll do that, but I'm saying, and I don't care about my own
No
life.
seatbelts.
Like I'll take the chances, but my kids, especially Crystal's driving some RV. She's not used to driving. She goes to turn and
It
there's a
would be the
blind
woman's
spot.
fault. I agree with that.
No,
I agree with that. It'd be
I'm-
Andrea or Crystal.
I'm just saying,
Wouldn't be us.
after you get too confident after a week, and then you go to change lanes, and then you're
Got
blind spot.
lane assist. Got lane assist.
I don't know if it does.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
You got to get one that does.
yeah. You gotta get the one with lane assist.
Yeah.
and then the car, you clip a car, you try to overcompensate, and then you're rolling the
Why are you
thing.
being such a pussy, bro?
I understand. I understand. I'm just saying now we're getting
This
into.
doesn't sound
This
like
does
Tom
not
Van.
sound like the Tom Van I know.
This is a shocking revelation on a Tuesday. I don't think I've ever heard you. I've never heard. This actually scares me about the company. Because what if you start getting scared about taking risks around here?
well,
Oh my god.
I think my risk meter is properly
Broken.
skewed.
Oh.
No, that what I'm describing is a scenario that probably could happen. When
Have you
guys,
looked up statistics on RV crashes?
well,
or children getting hurt in RV crashes.
They got rubber bones, right?
I have not.
Mine does.
But what I assume to be true, and it's probably true, is that if I'm driving an RV 70 miles an hour down the turnpike and I get into an accident at those speeds and my kids are in the back and not seatbelted and they start getting rocketed around.
Oh, yeah, it'd be bad. It's gonna be bad.
There will be a catastrophic injury. And I'm saying that scenario is way more likely. You guys are afraid of getting murdered and kidnapped? Like, that is never going to happen.
not.
Like, murdered and kidnapped is unlikely. Crashing an RV because I'm trying to get to the other campsite because I don't know how to drive an RV and my kids are not seatbelted and they get rocketed around. Like, that's seemingly way more likely.
I don't know why that's not that is not in my scary.
Because that's a rational fear.
Yeah, that's not-
You guys are only afraid of irrational
Yeah,
things.
Yep.
Like, it's
Agree
like
to disagree.
the pool. Like, my pool is the most dangerous thing in my house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how
Absolutely.
kids die.
Absolutely.
And car accidents is how people die. That's all I'm saying.
It makes me wonder, like, then what do most people do in their RV?
I think
They
they
just drive with the
take a
kids in the
chance.
back.
Yeah.
They take the chance.
But what I'm saying is that seems like a way
Now-
higher chance. And meanwhile, they're screaming, "Don't get kidnapped!" At like you could have died.
I like yelling at a kid, don't get kidnapped.
as a
I've seen
kid,
parents yell that.
Yeah, as a kid, I remember thinking when my dad bought a travel trailer, not an RV, that I was going to get to ride in the back until they pulled over and came to get me. But that was never the case.
Dude.
But I always thought I'd just ride in the back of the RV.
Every road trip we ever took, my mom had a conversion van. We called the Scooby-Doo van.
Yeah.
And it was a white Gladiator conversion van.
I bet you this ekes into the fear a little bit.
And we
because you've done this. You've done this.
And no,
so you know it could be dangerous.
It shouldn't eke into the fear because we did this 100 times and we were never hurt, and my mom never got in an accident, and for sure. She was smoking and distracted and on a little bit of 222s.
Some kid's crazy.
Yeah. So, but and we literally would drive up to Orlando. My brother was like 2.5, and we would just fight in the back the entire time.
Yeah.
We broke the bed, so it was stuck as a it used to be able to
be a seat.
A seat, but
my buddy had the same model.
And now it was a broken, so it's just a flat bed, and then
doing wrestling matches on it.
We would just wrestle the entire time. My sister would watch Barney, and then my mom would smoke and drive all the way to Orlando. No seatbelts. And if she got into an accident, we would be rocketed through the windshield. All of us be instantly killed, and because we had no seatbelts. And that's not even an RV; it's a conversion van. Now she never got in an accident, and we were all fine.
Fine.
But statistically, I think that's way more dangerous than most anything else that people are scared of.
I would agree with you.
Yeah.
Do we want to take a break here? Or?
We can.
Yeah,
or we can.
Yeah, we need one.
Split it. Sure,
yeah. We'll take one, and then we'll come back. We'll finish emails. We'll finish voicemails. You're listening to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha and Butler are here as well. Now, I feel like you're getting just knocked around too much this week, man.
No.
Makes me uncomfortable.
No, I mean, it does not matter to me.
Okay.
You can make fun of me all you want.
Okay. All right.
Whatever.
I'm just saying.
Butler was like, I didn't post the pee-pee video.
Yes, he did. It's on TikTok.
No, I said, I don't.
Waited.
I
gave it a solid 2 minutes before I posted it.
No, I was like, I don't care. Like, it does not matter to me. Whatever. Is that funny? Whether you like
Tom peed his pants, and it's on our TikTok.
I peed on the outside, not inside.
Well, most people.
There's a difference.
If you peed on the inside, maybe your shorts would have been thick enough to not even show the pee. That's what happens to me. That's why I call underwear pants protectors. It's supposed to catch the pee.
It's more embarrassing to pee your pants than it is to pee on your pants.
I agree with that.
I did the latter. I peed on my pants.
This sounds a lot like a Seinfeld episode where the scratch of the nose, and he's like, it was a scratch, not a pick.
Yeah.
So my fingernails are dirty, and Samantha's like, why?
You look like a homeless man.
You have the hands of the old man from the Metallica video. Like you look like you're buried in an old well.
Yeah. Samantha's like, song? Your feet are disgusting. Your fingernails are dirty.
You are wearing your Apple Watch today, but you didn't put in the code to activate it, so it's useless.
Oh, yeah.
Well done.
I don't know.
Well done. He put it on his wrist.
I thought it just works.
No, you put it on your wrist. You got to put it in the code. I mean, if it just worked, then anybody could steal your watch and then wear it.
Oh, that says the time. That's all I need.
That's all he needs.
You know what? He got me there.
Yeah.
It's a watch, right?
True.
So Samantha's like, why are your fingernails so dirty? I was like, I was digging.
Why are your fingernails so dirty?
I was digging again yesterday, and she's like, don't you have gloves? And I'm like, I do have gloves. But here's why my fingernails are still dirty.
He puts dirt in the gloves and then puts his hands in them.
That doesn't seem.
I got a pack of gloves and
a pack.
Yeah, like 10 gloves.
Let me get you some yellow Wells Lamont Dan Dennis senior gloves, like a good Florida trash person.
And I got a pack because I know myself, and I can't just get one gardening glove because I'll never put them back where I'm supposed to put them and I'll lose them, right? Because I'm an idiot and I have a disability.
Okay.
And so I'm disabled.
He's got a whole phrase now, he says. Pretty soon you're going to be like those deaf people at a restaurant where you walk up and hand me a card I'm supposed to read about your disability.
So I bought a pack, and
I just punched myself in the leg and it hurt really bad.
I put them on, and usually because I don't prepare, I'm like, Crystal yesterday, she's like, you better not go outside because we have a lot to do to get ready for the kids to go to school. And then I'm like, I'm not going outside.
Not go outside. What are you, like a little kid? Don't get on your bike and go to Jonathan's house. You're supposed to come in here and help me sign your father's card.
By the way, I was driving to Lowe's and I turned. I was like, I can't. She goes, she'll look at my phone and be like, he's parked at Lowe's. You know,
she's tracking
dude.
You?
What kind of y'all got to talk to each other?
What are you crazy? Anyway, so I go home.
She would go first to locate you via GPS than to just say, hey, where you at?
Well, she won't, like, if I said, I'm on my way home, and she hears the car
So
not
you
driving.
no, it's not Crystal's fault. So you've lied to her so many times. Okay, there it is. He's lied to her so many times that she'll go immediately.
Or she made me lie because
Okay, I like this.
Anyway, so I get home and then she wants me to help. I'm cleaning the house or whatever. I'm doing all the stuff so that I can go outside and
All
Get
you
your
wanna
chores
do.
done before you can go outside and play.
My grandmother used to say, "Do what you must before you do what you may."
yeah. And so we get the house clean. We do all the stuff.
Why
she
you got to
wanted
clean
do.
the house for first day of school?
Because she wants everything to be non-chaotic the first day.
That makes
and,
sense.
be a nice transition because we've stumbled upon situations before where we wake up and the dishes are piled up. We don't have any of the lunch stuff. Like, I don't have any of the breakfast. It's like chaos.
Where are the kids at?
frustrated.
Oh, God.
Yeah, we're late. We're like, go, no time. And then it's stressful for everybody.
My God.
Anyway, that's our normal homeostasis. That's
So
how we live. So we're trying to fight
Yeah.
that at all times, like
I like
by
that.
preparing, because we're in no plan van. Anyway,
House is clean. You're ready to go, so you can go outside.
so I'm standing there. She's telling me about something, right? She's like, I think
I should have been listening. That's bad.
and then she's like, all right, go ahead, go outside. So
Oh
I
my
run
God, you're
out
like a
there.
dog.
I run out there.
all
I'm
right,
like,
all right, Caesar, go on out there. Go potty.
And
Go
then,
pee-pee.
and then I go and I open my gardening shed.
Oh my God, there's a man in there.
And then no gloves. And then so I'm like, God.
Where's the pack?
Well, I used them all throughout the weekend, and
Use
they're
them
all.
all. What are they? They're not like masks.
No,
You just-
but they're all like thrown about everywhere.
when you're done digging, you just take them off and throw them into the air.
No, it's that I'm digging, and then an alert goes off, and I'm like, oh God,
An alert! Oh my God, a silver alert! There's an old man lost in the woods. I better throw my gloves.
Bitcoin is down,
Oh,
or whatever it is. So I take.
I'm on the clock and the grid. What is it? We're on
They
the
need
clock.
to up your meds, dude.
Oh, I thought you were talking to me.
Because
Because I feel like I need my meds up.
So I take my gloves off.
Every night I write a new version of how I
You
want to
can't
kill
let
you three.
one notification go off without
No,
checking
it's
it?
usually like someone's calling me.
I like that too. I get on the Peloton and they tell you not to look at your phone, and then if I feel my phone vibrate the Peloton, I have to reach for my phone and look at it. It's bad.
Put your
EJ
phone away.
Can't do it.
That stupid guillotine league. EJ's like, you're a pick. I'm like, God damn, it's been 7 days.
Yeah.
I mean, this is too long.
That was excruciating.
And so he's telling me it's your pick, and I don't want to inconvenience everybody, make everybody wait, even though it's a
You know
7
what?
hour thing.
I can't tell a lie. I made everybody wait the night I was really mad because y'all MFers were blowing up my phone, and I was like, I'll let them wait.
Sweat it out.
Yeah, I went to bed.
See, I'm like, oh God, they're waiting. And then so I take my gloves off and I put them down on like a chair, some like the AC
Are there just
unit.
gloves everywhere? Like,
Yes. So, and they're
I
all.
bet Crystal loves that.
And then once they're. Because all underneath, like my whole soil, it's not soil, it's all like jet black mud. Like it was something.
I'm jet black mud.
Like it's like the darkest mud I've ever seen. Once you dig underneath, like the soil
Oh,
in my
it's
backyard,
compost.
and then underneath
Your
that,
house was built on a on
something
a turd
weird.
ranch.
And so then when I take the gloves off, they turn inside out. And then they sit outside, they get wet or whatever.
They get away.
Long story short, I'm trying to find the gloves.
Are they cloth or plastic?
They're cloth with like a rubber.
Oh, they're the
front.
ones.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
the old
They're
lady
orange.
gloves.
Yeah, they're old lady gardening gloves.
Yeah.
Oh, get you some Wells Lamont.
So then I try to put on some, and there's dirt on the insides, and then I'm like, screw this.
It's all dirt on the inside. That's what my dad said.
And then I look at the time, and I'm like, oh God, I've been out here for 25 minutes just looking for
She's
gloves.
coming. She's coming.
No, and then so I'm like, I gotta get to digging, and then I just get down on my knees and start
Oh, so
digging.
you
Why
just-
don't you use a shovel?
So you freaked out and you're like,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
I can't have gloves,
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
just dig with my bare hands.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
needed to dig so bad you had to
Yeah.
get your hands down in it.
And then I'm in my work shorts. I'm not even prepared. You know, I'm getting everything dirty. My phone's dirty. Everything.
I'd like to think that you're in
My
a dress,
wallet- I have my-
dress shirt with a tie on.
I have my wallet and keys in my shorts, and then I'm just digging mud, and then my fingernails get
Yeah.
super dirty, and then
And you don't think to clean them.
No, I wash I take a shower, I wash my hands, but
You don't have a scrub? You need one of those brushes.
Nail brush.
I need to get like underneath each
You
individual
need a
one.
shovel or a trowel or
Yeah.
something.
What you need is an irrigation company.
Well, I got my landscaper Sean. He's helping me out.
Is he digging or is he just looking for gloves?
Well, I enjoy.
Looking for gloves in
No,
all
not that
the
part.
wrong places.
I'm not
Looking
organized.
for gloves in too many spaces.
I
This
get
is
it.
ridiculous.
I get enjoyment out of working on my yard. And then because it's the only thing that I can do where I do something, I see the results. Like this job,
It's tangible.
I can't see any of the results.
Look up. There's science behind you not using gloves. I would actually urge you to abandon the gloves. I believe there's actual science behind you as a human getting your hands in the black mud.
And the earth.
I think it's beneficial for your brain, and I think you absorb certain things there. I think it's good for you. I think there's science behind that, and you should touch the earth with your bare hands. I don't think you should be using gloves.
The only thing is you get dirt on your fingernails. It's like Concrete Mike. He's doing hard work all day.
Yeah, he got dirty hands.
He's got dirty fingernails. My dad was
Nothing
diesel
wrong with that,
mechanic.
yeah.
He never had clean fingernails because his hands were constantly in oil and
A lot of pride
grime.
in those businesses. Yeah, that's an admirable profession.
And who's gonna literally every single night take a little nail cleaning tool and clean underneath all your nails? It's too much work.
you know, my dad would clean his nails every night.
well,
and it was kind of gross.
He was
would
over the he was salesman, so you don't want
Yeah.
dirty
But he
fingernails
would
when you're
sit
clients.
there. It was kind of gross. He would sit there while watching TV. My dad also, I don't think you and I, old men in my dad, at least for my dad's generation, they carried a pair of clippers in their pocket. My dad always had fingernail clippers. No offense, and this probably pissed him off, but Bubba, Whoop S. Wilson used to always carry fingernail clippers. It's an old man thing to carry.
You're right.
My dad always
It's
had
a
fingernail
Southern
clippers.
old man
And my
thing.
dad was always
Who needs to
cleaning
clip their nails that much?
my dad. He'd clip his nails and then he'd clean them and he'd get them looking good. You know, he'd zhuzh them all up, but he'd do it at his lazy boy with nails everywhere, all over the carpet.
That's an old school thing. It's constantly fingernail upkeep. I
then
never
my
learned that.
And then my mom would be like, Dan, your nail clippings are all over the brand new Berber. Because my mom was obsessed with Berber carpet. It didn't really have a pile, right? It was like that carpet that's kind of
Yeah.
lumpy.
You know what also old men have a lot is the eyeglass cleaner rag.
lens wipes?
The lens,
Yeah.
or just the microfiber
Yeah,
thing.
but
that-
the nerd dads have the one that's like tongs and it's two poofs. It's a tong
I don't know
poof,
that one.
and you put it on the lens and you can move it because it's like two poofs that go on either side of the lens, so it cleans both sides at one time.
you should look at my glasses. They're
Oh,
scratched
man.
up. They're all wide. They fall off my face because I've ruined them.
You gotta get one of the little screwdrivers and tighten this
Yeah,
out.
we got one.
Crystal said that you could do that, but
Get Butler to fix your glasses.
I want to, but he's gonna do something to him.
Oh, yeah, put his ball.
yeah,
I would too. I would too.
And then take a picture.
Yeah,
so,
of his ding dong wearing your glasses.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
For ammunition, once I fire him, and he's like, "Look at my ding dong on your glasses." I'm like, "Ah!"
Does he win? Who wins? I mean, he's still fired.
He wins because he's just like, I'll just sit at home.
I'll just sit at home and stare at my wife's harp collection. She's rich.
It's like, now I get to do nothing.
I can
Which is
paint all
better.
day. I wanted to paint all day.
Yeah, I get to airbrush my toys. That's what he wants, right?
is what he wants.
That's a better life than
It
this.
is a better life.
Like I'm making him do these proposals, and he's
you
adding
don't
up
wanna
these
do that.
things.
He's in there,
No.
got airbrush dreams.
Some of it's hard. The email one client after the other, get
Well,
all the
there's-
paperwork,
There's rejection and anxiety involved in this business. But painting
send the invoices.
But painting a Mandalorian helmet is relaxing, cools you off, chills your brain.
Yeah. You're indoors. You can do it at your own leisure.
Yeah.
You're
You
way
want to
better.
jump into some voicemail and email issues here, buddy?
Yeah.
I had this one. Let's see. This whole boat key, car key thing has just been. I'm about over it. I'm not taking any more voicemails.
Hey, it's Damien. Just adding to the Tom with his boat and key issue. I know you guys kind of run through it, but when I was a valet early in the 90s, when I was going through college, we would go up to cars and you would, if they were near each other, same make and model, you would jump in.
He's gonna say basically that
The car key worked.
more and his point is that it opens the car more than it would do it more often than not. And it was surprising to him as a young valet that the security that we've kind of convinced ourselves that we have with our cars,
Right.
you know
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean?
I guess their thinking was, and it seems like they're correct in the fact that most of the car robberies that at least were portrayed in movies and you heard about in like the 90s or whatever were smash and grabs and things like that. You know, it was never like, oh, they got a hold of the same make and model key and they opened it up and drove it away. You know, I rarely heard about that, and it was more like they smashed my window and stole my stereo or whatever. So
it's always surprising to me when people smash the window too. It very surprising to me, and it still happens. I see, especially if you're on those websites like Nextdoor, but I guess that's going to be only those, right? Like it's going to be a collection of just bad things that have happened to people.
Most have graduated now, it seems, to just checking the door locks, and most people are bad at life like me and leave their door locks unlocked, and they just get to it that way. And I think the smashing and grabbing, they realize that the cops will be more apt to go after you because the homeowner
Destruction of property too,
and the homeowner will be more mad that you broke your window.
Every holiday season though at the malls.
Oh, of course.
When they,
Every time.
because people would like
when you see the stuff right there, because breaking a window to get nothing is now you're like you've vandalized something. It's you got the cops looking for you.
It's mind blowing to me that you still see that stuff at like the fancy mall.
Yeah.
You'll like. I mean, like I've been walking with my wife going into the fancy mall and seen people walk out with like bags of Louis Vuitton and just put it in their back
and
seat,
then go back in,
shut the door, lock it, and go back in. I'm like, yo, that's why you have a trunk. Like, it's mind-blowing to me, and you'll see it.
Yep.
And I'm sure that there are people sitting in their cars out there, especially holiday season, waiting for you to make that mistake.
Probably businesses, hurting for people smashing and grabbing at malls nowadays, like
I would imagine.
Way less merchandise, and think about what's in the malls. Like it's turned into a bunch of dollar stores and weirdo flea market things.
Unless it's an upscale, like
Millennium
Mall.
Florida, yeah.
But maybe that's where it'll go. Like, I would like to think that malls could. I know you despise them, but I would like to think that they could work and maybe offer a nice storefront for a small business. That'd be kind of cool. Maybe we'll get like smaller businesses can tuck into those areas and maybe afford it, and then that way we don't have to waste the land.
I think they'll probably turn it into housing.
Would imagine.
It's like even for the small business, you start looking at it and like, man, it's a lot easier to run, less expensive. I just run this through the internet. And so a lot of small businesses, instead of like having a storefront, because they'll still charge you a ton of money for rent. And so all that rent money and insurance, and I'm sure you have to pay some sort of like upkeep fee to the mall, like an association fee or something. You know what I'm saying? There's probably a ton of, overhead that if you could avoid that and just go straight to the internet, you would as a small business, I would assume, Yeah,
no, I like that one. I've got a couple of voicemail. Let's try this one.
Tom and Dan and Sam and Trav. Hey guys, it's Kenny. Listening to that voicemail that was fake about the dude that named his kids after famous people. Growing up in the 90s, I had a friend whose older sister married a guy named Garth, and he had an identical twin brother whose name was Brooks. And they were born in like the 70s, so this was before Garth Brooks was like a thing. And there are a pair of identical twins named Garth and Brooks, like with an S. Anyway, thought that was interesting. I'll try to see if I can find documentation of it to prove it to you guys, but
I believe
those things crazily exist. All right, love you guys. Bye.
Yeah,
You'd be insane to make that up.
I totally believe that. Yeah, stuff like that happens. Like that. Like, that reminds me of that. I remember as a kid I heard this and it was like mind blowing. It was like, did you know that Lincoln's secretary was Kennedy and Kennedy's secretary was named Lincoln? And they've got all these different things that line up, and you're like, oh my God, look at all these coincidences. What does this prove? Nothing. It proves nothing.
Yeah, it's just something to torture you with, kind of like my old manager Champs, Forrest Stump.
That was his name.
And
he still listens to the show.
And he said that he was tortured after the movie came out forever, and still to this day.
Even before the movie. I mean, Forrest Stump.
once a year,
I think
go
before
to
the movie, they was just like, oh, your last name's Stump. It's fine. It's Stump.
Tree Stump, Forest
And
Stump.
Forrest is a cool first
Forest
name.
Stump makes more sense. Forest, they got a lot of stumps.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like you would still get made fun of.
But Forest
Not
Stump,
as much as when Forrest Gump came out because,
You're like,
because it's not even. Yeah. If your last name was Gump, it would be kind of cool. Like
yeah, you'd be like,
you're
they made a
Forrest
movie
Gump.
about me, but they made a movie about a guy named Forrest Gump. Well, what's your name? Forrest Stump. I hate bringing this up. Poor Forrest. He's a good dude. Do you remember we talked to him?
Yeah, I know.
On the show.
Yeah.
He's a good dude, but that's
he is a good dude.
That is a true name. That's real stuff.
Sometimes that happens, and unfortunate events happen, and you're just like, you have to chalk it up as like, that was unfortunate.
I think that's the most
you
unique
could change your name, though.
I think that's the most unique
too much.
named person I know. What's the most unique to named person you know?
And
I'll have to think about that. Forrest Stump's pretty good.
nowadays, I think people have like super over the top name. I mean, celebrities like the old what's Beyonce's kid's name?
Blue Ivy.
Yeah, Blue Ivy, like that kind of thing. I don't think regular people name their kids that, right? That's like a celebrity thing.
I guess. I mean, I know.
I mean, most of the names in my kids' schools are the same kind of names. It's like all the same. Humans for the most part, there's outliers, but everybody's like kind of doing the same thing. And there's like it goes back to there's popularized names in different generations, and then you look back at the statistics and the records, and you're like, oh yeah, this name was most popular in the 80s. This name was
in the mid 2000s. Every girl was Nevaeh, and every boy was Jaden.
Yeah, Jaden,
feel
Aiden.
like-
I know
Yeah.
there's a lot of young Aidens that are like
I don't know
Tommy's
any
age.
Aidens.
Yeah,
That's
I
a
do.
new name thing.
Well, I'm older than you guys anyway, so
No,
I got a lot of the
not when I
traditional
was growing
names.
up.
Like
They
I grew up
named
with a
Aiden,
lot
I
of Stans and Charlies and Rockefellers and
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
the
We were hard railroad families.
it's all the kind of standards that everybody uses.
I met a Cliff the other day, and I was like, you don't really hear that very
I
often.
wish Butler would meet a Cliff.
I remember.
That was a joke.
That would have been a great place to say bye-bye.
No, never do it on the joke.
I remember a kid named Clint when we were growing up,
Yeah,
and he made fun of.
Yeah.
Because
We did too.
the only
That's
like,
how I figured out what that thing is from a guy named Clint.
yeah.
Taught me about the female anatomy.
You
Old
would
Clint.
Yeah, you would think it would be cool because of Clint Eastwood, but
Right.
Clint did
No.
not go.
I-
didn't become cool.
I also remember when this was being probably poorly and misinformation explained to me as a young man, and I was hearing this about Clint's name. I realized very early on that I would just have to nod my head and act like I knew and ha 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 because I had no idea and was actually quite scared of what I was hearing
Oh yeah,
and didn't understand it.
I still don't understand. I have no idea.
No.
Is that the top thing?
No such
What?
thing.
Is
It's
that-
as real as this virus, I'll tell you that.
Bye bye.